Yo, what is going on, good people? Welcome to another edition of the Cheesesteaks and Takes podcast show. This is Colby. I am joined by host Troy, Chuck, Noah, and Drew Butler on this fifth episode of the Cheesesteaks and Takes podcast show. Really excited in the middle of the NFL season. Not in the middle, but still in the beginning, going into week 2 this week. We had week 1, first official NFL Sunday that we'll get into a little bit, talk about what we saw, some big-time matchups, some big-time performances, some rookie performances that stood out. So we'll get into that a little bit to start the show. We'll also get into some Eagles-Chiefs talk, of course, with that big matchup coming up next Sunday. But want to get into what we saw first from this past weekend. You know, we got some big-time matchups, like I mentioned, the Lions and Packers, who went head-to-head. The Lions, looked pretty average. Packers dominated that game. And, with the new coordinators that Detroit has, wasn't, I guess, too surprising they got off to a slow start, but was a little surprising that they lost by as much as they did to Green Bay, who looks like, honestly, one of the biggest contenders to the Eagles in the NFC. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more on this episode. But, fellas, I want to start off by bringing up something that I saw from the weekend. I know college football isn't something we dive into a whole lot all the time, but South Carolina is must-watch football if you guys haven't checked them out. They have a quarterback by the name of Lenore Sellers, who's probably going to be, if he enters the draft, he'll be a lottery pick next year, and he is showtime. He gets it done not only with his arm, but with his legs. He has already a whole lot of passing yards and rushing yards this season. South Carolina's top 10 team in the nation, so I want to shout them out and him as a player to watch. Really excited. They have a big-time matchup this weekend. So looking forward to continuing to watch South Carolina play. And then, a rookie standout from the NFL, Emeka Egbuka. He's got a lot of talk in training camp, and he backed it up with his performance on Sunday against the Falcons. He pretty much won that game for the Buccaneers. He had 2 touchdowns thrown by Baker Mayfield, and he looks like the real deal, stepping in for Chris Godwin, who's a little banged up right now. He had a great first game in the NFL, and I'm sure he'll have a huge season. So wanted to shout out Emeka Egbuka, who I don't have on my fantasy team. I don't know about you guys. My fantasy teams are not doing too hot. All my fantasy teams lost in week 1.
Crushed you, son.
Both of my receivers had a combined total of 5 points this week. So.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. It sounds like you need to make a trade, Noah.
I shouldn't have to. It's Nico and AJ Brown. Like, hopefully they. No, that's not sustainable. The 5 points.
No, yeah, you'll be fine with them. You'll be fine with. I will say, my father has found a glitch in our league. He drafted Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, and has Travis Hunter as one of his defensive players. And Travis Hunter gets stats for defense for his team, which is kind of crazy.
I saw that, and then I figured out that's why Troy probably wanted all these different rules, because he thought about the Travis Hunter.
The first time I played with defensive players, it was with your dad and his buddies, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And the first week, I got crushed. I mean, crushed by like 80 points. And then I just, for whatever reason, I just switched up my defensive players, and they started going off for me, and I started winning because of them. So since from that point on, I just love having defensive players on fantasy.
That was a while ago,
It just gives it an added excitement to me. Like I can watch both sides of the ball. I get to know some other players I would never pay attention to a little bit better. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right. I did create the glitch, and I took full advantage of it.
At least
I haven't played like this before. I don't hate it so far.
Definitely a lot more to manage. But Noah, speaking of football, speaking of what's been going on, want to get into what you took away from this past weekend, whether that's what you saw from the NFL. I know you've been tapped in with the all 22 access lately, so want to definitely get your insight on what you took away from this past weekend in the sports world.
Bouncing off of you from the rookies you were watching, Cam Ward. If you looked at his box score, it wasn't that good, but I was seeing a lot of great throws, a lot of tight window throws that were dropped by the receivers. He was playing on time. He was playing within the offense. I felt like they asked him to do a lot. Like they didn't have a lot of training wheels on him in the offense. Like he was just dropping back, like going through his progression, throwing it. They weren't really giving him anything easy. But he didn't play that well stats wise. But if you watch, I really liked what I was saying. But the Titans supporting cast, like that's not a I don't know that's not a good supporting cast at all.
Do you think
Free.
he was it was based on the Broncos defense? You know, Broncos have a last year they had a pretty good defense. You know, I'm assuming they have another one
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, the Broncos defense is great. They probably have the best defense. Like non-biasedly, I would say the Eagles, but the Broncos they probably have the best defense right now. But the Titans O line is terrible. Like even watching from last season, they didn't really make any upgrades from it. There was pressure in his face like the whole game. What games did you guys watch this over the weekend?
I watched the Packers game, and to me, they had the best
Oh
week.
yeah,
They had the most impressive win to me on both sides of the ball. And I mean, forget Micah Parsons, like what he did. I thought their defense was solid, even when he was on the bench. And listen, a lot of that has to do with Detroit having it like what Kobe said. They have a new offensive coordinator. Like their play calling was even more vanilla than I thought the Eagles was, right? So,
Hmm.
you know, I'm curious to see what they do against the Commanders tomorrow. Like that should be that's a good game.
That's a real good game.
That's a real good game. I think that's game of the week.
definitely.
Well, speaking, I don't mean to interrupt you, Troy, but speaking of like the Commanders, my focus was on the NFC East a little bit last week, and I don't know if it was Washington looking fairly decent on the Giants being really, really bad. I thought Debo was going into the season. I thought he was washed, but he looked pretty good actually. Um, I know I had the prediction about Dallas making the playoffs in our first podcast. I didn't think Washington. I thought they would take a step back, but I think they're going to be decent. They're going to be a good team. They're one of the oldest teams in the league, so I want to see how they're going to hold up physically.
Right.
But they're going to be a problem. And Jane Daniels, he looked good. Not great, but he looked good. The Giants, on the other hand, I would just start Dart if I was them. What do they have to lose right now? You know, Russ he's just washed.
They're not going to start him. They're not going to start him. Not right now.
I agree with you, but why not? Like I just
I
don't
agree.
understand.
I
Because
agree, but I think they're still trying to win. At least Mara, not Mara, Dable and Shane are because their jobs on the line, right? So they still want to win.
So if they were yeah, if they were competitive with Dart, and even if they lost, I think it may mean more to the fan base if than having Russ pull out a couple victories
Correct, but
throughout the
would it
year.
mean more to Mara? I
Yeah,
don't know if it's going to mean more to the owner.
I don't think they
Like
should
I
play Dart yet. Because I saw somewhere that Russ was like pressured on like 50% of his dropbacks. Like that's not like the position you want to put like a young rookie QB that's wasn't really like coming out of college. Like he wasn't really pro ready per se.
yeah,
I feel like that's not a good situation to put him in yet. Like, and it's like week one. Like you don't really want to overreact yet and like just say like you should like bench Russ. Like Russ is still good at some things. Like he has a good deep ball still. Like that's kind of about it. He's not as mobile as he used to be. So
no,
he
yeah,
doesn't really throw
I
over the
agree.
middle of the field as well. But like
I
Honestly,
agree.
I
I
don't
just
think
don't
that's a
see
good
what they
position.
got to lose. I don't see what they have to lose.
they could lose Dart
Like he could get
because
hurt
their
or
offensive line is that bad.
he'll
Okay.
just
Like they don't want to get him
he'll
hurt.
pick up
Look,
bad
look, look at what
tendencies.
their offensive line did to Daniel Jones, and then you look at Daniel Jones what he did against Miami with a decent protection. He felt that's probably the most comfortable he's felt in his whole career, right? So you put a Dart out there with that offensive line, like he's just going to get chased all over the place. Eventually, he'll probably get hurt.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
they're in a tough spot.
They are in
The
tough
Giants
spot.
are in a tough spot.
And I thought that defensive line would play a little better than it did against the Commanders. They were whatever. And maybe that had a lot to do with Daniels, but I wasn't super impressed by how they looked. And it's only one game, but that's just my impressions. I was kind of really focused on like the NFC East this past week. And I'm going to say this again. And I know you guys, Troy's rolling his eyes, and this is like the 5th podcast in a row that I mentioned this. Again, this after week 1, I don't think there's – how many teams make the playoffs? 7 in each conference? I don't think there's 6 teams better than the Cowboys in the conference. So I think we're going to look –
after the game last week, they're a lot better than I thought they were going to be on both sides of the ball. Like I said before, I like the game plan that they had. I fully expect them to crush the Giants this week, but if they don't, then it's right back to they're not going to make it. But I do think they're better than those jokers are better than I thought. I have to admit.
And I think we're going to look back because we all felt kind of like a little uneasy. We were happy with the win, but a little uneasy with the win because we thought we should have crushed Dallas. But I think we're going to look back at that win and say, you know what, that was a good win because Dallas is better than we thought they were in week 1.
Yeah, I really don't know.
A good win.
Go ahead, Noah.
I think it was a good win because, like, if you think about it, our 2 top receivers had like 30 yards together. Saquon didn't play that well. He averaged I don't even think he averaged over 3 yards a carry, and we still found a way to win the game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied after the win. But looking back on it, I could take that from it at least.
If
the Cowboys are a good team.
If Jalen Carter played in that game, do you think the game is as close as it was?
Probably not. I don't think so. I thought, Dallas did a good job of adjusting on the fly. First play of the game, they gave the ball to Williams, and he ran right up the gut, right where Carter would have been, right? So their game plan was, all right, let's test this, run this defensive 4 and see if they can stop us. And they couldn't. Jalen Carter would have stopped a lot of that stuff.
But you don't think they would have found another pain point? I think that's what Dallas is good at. They find a pain point and they exploit that. Now the Eagles don't have a ton.
I thought Dallas did a good job.
I do agree with
that.
you.
They chased Adoree Jackson basically all over the field. They had him running, like a chicken without a head. So I thought they did a good job of recognizing this is the weak point. Let's keep going at them.
Yeah.
But I think they would have been forced to pass a little bit more. I thought the running game set everything up for him. And with Carter there, with Carter not being there, it was just a little bit easier for him.
Yeah. I don't know if we would have.
I don't think the score would have been too much different.
Too.
Maybe we would pulled
rush
away.
Wasn't there
but the Eagles have never. The Eagles have never blown out the Cowboys when Dak's at quarterback. It has not ever happened.
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know if the score would have been much different. Maybe they win by 7. Like the spread was what? 7.5?
7.5?
8.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So maybe they win by 7. But I still think they would have won a little bit easier.
Okay. That's fair.
With Carter.
That's fair.
Did you guys watch the Ravens and Bills game?
I did.
First half, it seemed like Baltimore was going to blow them out the water.
Yeah, Baltimore looked great. They look great. They made one huge mistake. It seems like they always do.
That fumble you're talking about.
Turned the game around. The dumbest thing for them to do was Harbaugh kicking that ball away with a few minutes left. Or was it under a minute? No, it wasn't under a minute.
Yeah, it was about a minute left. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for them to kick that ball away, and they couldn't stop They couldn't stop the Bills all game long, and to give Josh Allen that chance. And listen, I was selfishly, because I have Josh Allen in both my fantasy leagues, I was hoping he'd get the ball back, but I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, they can't. It's fourth and two, 4th and 3. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Derrick Henry. You can't. There's no pitch option. They don't have a pitch option play with those two.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
That was ridiculous.
It was a tough spot to me because if you don't get it, you're essentially giving the game up right then and there. Because Baltimore, yeah.
Kobe, the way the game was going, the second you punted that ball away, the game was over. You knew Josh Allen was going to come back down and score because that's all he was doing. You know, that's that whole fourth quarter. He had 250 yards in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's great. I kept thinking through the whole game, how the heck does Troy have both of these quarterbacks on his fantasy team?
Because I'm nice. I am nice.
That's what I was thinking. Before we go to the next quarter, I just want to say one thing. Just going back to the Eagles game. I was talking to a friend of mine, Tyrone, and he listened to the podcast. He was giving me some feedback, which I thought was cool. But he was saying, like, you know, why are we so hung up on Adoree Jackson? He's your 11th best player on defense. He compared to the, like, you know, first world problems. There are teams with a lot more holes than the Eagles, but we're so hung up on Adoree Jackson, which I thought was interesting. We do that. I think we're expecting to have like an all-star at every position. He did look bad on last Thursday, but hopefully he won't be in there. But if he is in there, hopefully they'll come up with some kind of scheme to like protect him a little bit. But I thought it was interesting for Tyrone's a Steelers fan, like getting his perspective on how us as Eagles fans like look at our team. It felt like, you know, first world problems.
Yeah, it's like we're turning into those Patriot fans that find something to complain about with those Tom Brady teams that just kept winning.
Correct.
Yeah, listen, I don't expect Adoree Jackson to be a Pro Bowler. I just expect him to be competent. He wasn't competent at all.
Yeah.
Last Thursday. So, you know, normally I'd be like, I think I did say I want him off my team. I never need to see him in an Eagle uniform again. Mm-hmm. I've calmed down. He's somebody's son, right? Like my mother would be very upset if somebody was saying that about me. He's someone's son. I'll give him another chance. I want to see him do well against KC.
Do you, before we move on, do you guys think he's going to start?
I heard that he was already.
According to what Vic Fangio said, it sounds like he will.
Got it. Okay.
I don't mind him starting. Like, you give him another shot. Like, if you're going to give him another shot, give him another shot. He was just started week 1, make him start at week 2. If he falls down again, then you gotta have another conversation.
We talked a lot about the NFC East. So anything from outside of the division, maybe some talk about JJ McCarthy, who had that historic fourth quarter on Monday night that we saw.
Are you're only talking about him because he's your quarterback?
Not only because he's my fantasy quarterback, who I've been very high on all year, but
trash those first 3 quarters.
He wasn't. He wasn't trash.
I thought he was
trash. I thought he was trash.
Trash. But he picked it up. Like, to his credit, he turned it around in a huge way. And that's what impressed me the most.
I really don't think
he shook those first 3 quarters off and came through in the fourth quarter in the clutch when he's supposed to come through. So I was impressed by that.
I don't think he was trash. I think he definitely didn't play well. He wasn't playing good in those first 3 quarters. But there were a couple of drives, like if you think about that first drive where they went 3 and out, it was a 3rd and 4, and he sat in the pocket, didn't see anybody, and started scrambling, and probably had like 10 or 15 yards up the field, but got tripped up by his lineman and then fell, and it was 4th down. They had to punt. So I think he left a lot of plays out there that he'll probably make in the future. And like there are times where he was, not reading the defense well and, wasn't accurate. But overall, I don't think he was as bad as people are saying that he was in those first 3 quarters. He definitely wasn't good, but I wouldn't call it trash.
Trash is trash is maybe a little strong. He didn't look composed in the first 3 quarters. Happy feet, kind of holding on the ball a little too long. Scrambling when, again, it's hard to tell on TV, but it seemed like maybe someone was open, but he chose to take it and run.
He looked like banana peels and dirty diapers in a bag.
Right. So how would you look on your first Monday night football game in the NFL for your first career start?
I would look like trash, like he did.
If I was a pro quarterback,
and probably wouldn't have had the fourth quarter he did.
I probably would look like
that was a
Michael
bad question to ask.
Dante Culpepper-ish type.
That was my bad, guys. That was a bad question for me to ask. Bad question.
I watched the beginning of that game. I had to go to sleep though because I had work the next day. I thought the Bears were gonna win. I woke up and I was seeing how and I'm pretty sure when I went to sleep, JJ had like 60 passing yards maybe. He had like 1 touchdown. I saw that 1 touchdown to like Jetta's. It was a good throw. He didn't look that. He looked very scared in the beginning of the game, but it was his first start. He missed the whole season last year. He has a lot of expectations on his shoulders from Vikings fans because they have a great roster around him. He's the only question, honestly. But I think it's it's intriguing that at the end of the game he pulled it together. I feel like that's something to come away with if I'm a Vikings fan. That's a good trait to have in my that's why I like Jalen Hurts, that he has that same trait. At the end of the game, the lights aren't going to be too bright for him, like Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you're to that point, Noah. If you watched him in college, you know that he's a guy that plays best when his back's against the wall. So watching that game, you kind of expected him to turn it around towards the end as it got, because you noticed that the Bears with Caleb Williams, they weren't, with the blitzes that Brian Flores was dialing up in that second half, they weren't making any noise on offense. So you knew that there was going to be an opportunity for the Vikings and JJ McCarthy. And if you know anything about him, if you follow his story, he's somebody that doesn't get fazed by those big moments. He doesn't get fazed by adversity. So you almost expected what happened to happen in that fourth quarter. Not making it any less impressive, but that's the type of kid, that's the type of player that he is.
Yeah, it was a good comeback, but I do want to say I wasn't really impressed by either the Bears or the Vikings. People were saying maybe 3, maybe even 4 teams coming out of that division may make the playoffs. I don't think so. Maybe 2.
It's wild.
Yeah, and they could. It's possible. Mathematically, it's possible, but I don't see it. Maybe 2 are coming out of there. Packers and the Lions, but I don't see the Bears or Minnesota. I don't think they're going to have a quarterback play to be a playoff team.
What I want to say is, first, I feel like it's week 1. I feel like things should get way better. This was
good point. Yeah,
this was Caleb's. I want to talk about Caleb, but this was Caleb's first game in this new offense. Last year, he went through 3 different play callers. His head coach got fired. His OC got fired. Something else happened, I feel like. But that was a terrible situation he was going through last year. He just has to get used to, he doesn't have to, be Superman every play. But when I was watching,
it might be tough for him.
Yeah, it might be. But when I was watching the beginning of the game, I was liking what I was seeing from Caleb. I thought he looked really promising.
Looked great. Yeah, you're right. He looked absolutely fantastic.
He had some really creative runs. But did you guys expect more from Ben Johnson? He didn't seem like he was really dotting it up like he did with Detroit. It seemed Caleb was making some plays on his own.
Right. I think
it could be.
I think that's going to take some time for him to implement his total offense with that team. I think they have to take baby steps first. Let's get the fundamentals down first, and then we can enhance our play calling and our offense a little bit later on once we get those fundamentals down. That's what it seemed like to me.
And who knows? I got to look at the tape, but maybe some of the stuff was there. Caleb was just not used to seeing it yet, and that's all right. It's week one. Like maybe next week they'll go through it in practice. So he'll show him like what he missed. Maybe it'll be there, or maybe they'll call some more of that because the holes were there in the defense. But
yeah, that's a good point. No, Ben Johnson mentioned in his post-game interview that there were a few plays that Caleb did miss, especially in that first half. Roman Dunze, particularly on a go route, he would have had him for a touchdown, but he missed it. But I'm glad that you brought that up, Noah, because you've been really tapped in with the All-22 and with watching the film and getting behind the scenes on what's actually going on, in plays and with teams. So I want to throw it to you for our halftime segment. This is the first halftime segment for Noah's All-22. In his podcast debut, nonetheless.
That is awesome.
Noah, break it down for us. All-22. What have you been seeing? What has been going on? Talk to us.
Something that I noticed from the Eagles game was just how predictable our offense was from from the shotgun pistol and under center. Like the tendency from pass to run was just very predictable. Like I have it over here. From shotgun, we ran 36 plays. It was 31 passes and 5 runs from shotgun. That's 86%.
Wow.
And from pistol, we had 1 pass and 11 runs. And then from under center, there was 2 passes and 2 runs, and both of the passes were bootlegs. Like if I'm noticing stuff like that, like what do you think? Like defensive coordinators in the NFL that get paid millions of dollars are going to notice from our offense.
Did you guys read that Patullo? He did not script the first 15 plays.
No, I didn't know that.
I thought the first series. I thought it was great, and I thought he was just nice 15 plays. But he came out yesterday and said that they weren't sure how Dallas was going to play defense. They have two new coordinators. Like they just weren't sure, so they pretty much not winging it, but they just played it by ear. I just found that interesting.
I think that goes back to my point. I'm sorry. I think that goes back to my point I made last podcast. I actually like that they didn't script plays, but they didn't find the Dallas Cowboys pain points and attack it. And that really frustrates me. I think that's a Sirianni thing. He's just the common denominator. He's been a coach. They've really never have done that. I know someone like Andy Reid loves scripting his play, so it's super successful. But I think the Eagles had a chance to really exploit this Dallas defense. And we'll see, mate. Like I said, maybe we'll look at this win after 8 weeks and say, well, that was a really good win. But their back seven is not really that great. And I thought the Eagles had a chance to exploit that, and they didn't.
Yeah, listen, I have to remind myself, it's just week one. It's basically preseason for them. I'm not going to see this real team for another 4 weeks, basically. Yeah. So I have to keep reminding myself that.
Good point.
Just like last season, in the first couple of weeks, I was acting like I was confident in us winning the Super Bowl, but I really was not.
I was not. I was calling for it.
I was acting like I was telling all my friends, we're winning the Super Bowl. I don't care what you guys are talking about.
I think
after the Bucks loss, I thought it was over after that. I was like, Baker Mayfield owns us. We're probably gonna lose to them again this year.
Yeah, when do we play them?
We don't play them this year.
Early, right?
I think around the same time.
I thought we didn't play Tampa Bay this year.
We play
them around the same time.
Oh God,
we play in week 3.
I pulled Detroit early in the year after Sirianni.
No, week 3 we played the Rams.
Oh,
we played them week 4 or 5.
Week 4.
I don't know. The Bucks didn't look too hot. I watched some of that game.
It doesn't matter. They have our number.
They do have our number.
After
and Hassan Reddick's probably gonna have 3 sacks against us. He looked pretty good. He's on the Bucks.
Yeah. He had 3 sacks?
No. I said he's probably going to have 3 sacks against us.
After the Sirianni like had that screaming match with the fan, try to remember, I never like call for someone to be fired. And I was like, Troy, he needs to go. I think he used that as motivation, and then they went on to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I think Lori pulled him aside and had an adult conversation with him, because from that point on, you didn't see any of those antics on the sideline for the most part. Not like that. But like, it's just had to grow up. He just had to grow up. I still don't think he's a good X's and O's guy, but he seems to have a very good pulse in the locker room, which is also very important. So, and the guys seem to really
100%.
like playing for him. So, I'm not calling for his head right now.
He's not on Troy's hit list yet.
No, he won't be on my hit list this year.
Yeah,
not this year.
And this is a sports hit list, just to clarify, not an actual. Not an actual hit list.
Interesting.
Drew, you've been a little quiet, Drew. Any thoughts from the weekend? You're still here.
I'm here. I saw bits of the game when the Eagles were playing the Cowboys. Anytime the Eagles play the Cowboys, I get nervous. So that's really been it. They beat the Cowboys. That's always sets the tone. I think winning your first game, especially if it's a rival team. I think maybe going back to your comment about if Carter had participated in the game or not, I think that what made the difference was Jalen Hurts getting 2 runs to complete a touchdown. Right? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Right. I think that was a very successful move by him, and I think it shows how versatile he is as a quarterback. Not only can he run, he can throw. So
that's what we love.
We love Jalen Hurts here. So that's really all the take I have for the day.
Yep, that's what we love about our quarterback. How many games were you able to watch? Any more games, or was it just the Eagles game from the all 22 access?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I only watched the Eagles game from that.
Okay,
but I watched a couple games over the weekend. I watched the Ravens game, but I went to sleep when the Ravens were up. It was 40-25. I was like, it's over. I'm going to sleep. It was like 11:30. Again, I had work. I was like, it's over. I woke up. I saw Josh Allen all of a sudden had like 390 passing yards. Yeah. Like when I went to sleep, I don't even think he had 200 yet. So I was like, where did that come from? Yeah. My friend Jalen's a Ravens fan. Like I had to troll him a little bit because the Ravens. This is just the most Ravens thing to happen. I feel like they just always lose these games somehow.
Yeah,
when they should be winning Super Bowls. Like I wouldn't want to see that personally because I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl every single year. Like I would be disappointed if we don't. But
on that note, though, I do see the Ravens and the Bills in the AFC Championship game. I think they'll meet again. I don't see a stronger team than those two.
Yeah, the Chiefs did not look too hot, but Patrick Mahomes looked good too. No,
he looked.
I would say that
he did look good.
Without his top wideout too.
But in a playoff game, in a 1-game playoff game, like I wouldn't count out the Chiefs against anyone. So they just win games somehow. They have Mahomes, they have Andy Reid. Like they haven't beat him yet. Like they got to show me. Like I don't know.
They definitely find ways, and I think that's a good transition into the third quarter and out of halftime for our Eagles Chiefs preview. Big time matchup, fellas. 4:25 kickoff. That is the mid-afternoon game. That is the prime time mid-afternoon game on Sunday. Going to Kansas City. Will the Birds be? And I mean, it looks like a must-win game for the Kansas City Chiefs at this point in their season. After losing to the Chargers on that opening Friday night. So they'll be coming with their best shot, I'm sure. And we're going to show that we're going to try to show that, what happened in the Super Bowl obviously was not a fluke and that we were the better team. even though this is a new season. So, Noah, I want to start off with you. What do you think are some of the biggest things we're going to be looking for from the Birds to go out and get this victory and start off 2-0?
First off, what I want to see is our receivers always eat against the Chiefs, I feel like. So if the receivers are not, if they're not getting the ball next week, then we have an issue, I feel like. That's what I want to see next week. And if Adoree Jackson can't guard any of the Chiefs receivers, now that Worthy's out and Rashee Rice isn't playing yet, like they have Hollywood. Like who else do they have?
Juju,
yeah.
and Tyquan Thornton.
Like Juju, like I just think about James Bradbury holding him every time he's on the field. I don't like him anymore. I used to like him when he was on the Steelers. I can't stand him anymore. So if he can't guard Juju or Marquise Brown, he's pretty fast, but I don't feel like he's going to be on it much. Then he shouldn't be playing against any. That's like the worst receiving core in the league right there. So if he can't do anything over there, like he's done. I don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how different the defense will look with Jalen Carter in there, because they got no type of pressure on Dak Prescott in their first game. The defense had no sacks. I think the pressure rate was about 30 to 40%. So that needs to be better, because if Mahomes has time to throw, I don't care who's on Hollywood Brown, he's probably going to get open, right? He's going to find somebody with his arm talent and the speed that those receivers have. If they don't get pressure on Mahomes like they did against the Cowboys, it's going to be a long day for the Eagles.
I want to say, though, as when we gave our predictions last week about the Eagles-Dallas games, I was worried about that game. This week, for some reason, I'm just the opposite. I think I'm pretty confident Eagles are going to win this game. And Cole, to your point about it's a must-win for the Chiefs, I kind of see that, but I also see like the national media after this game saying, "Oh, maybe the Chiefs dynasty is over. They're 0-2. What are they going to do? What kind of moves they're going to make?" I'm super confident about this game. I think like Noah mentioned, our skilled players have just owned the Chiefs the last two meetings. So, like I said, I think it may be close a little bit because of Mahomes, but at the end of the day, I think the Eagles are going to walk out of that stadium with a victory.
Yeah, I mean they should win, but I'm going to be focusing on the defense, like both you guys said, Noah and Colby. The pressure that they put on Mahomes and Adoree Jackson. See, I want to know what he does. I'm a little concerned with Dallas Goedert. He's questionable for the game.
How did I miss that? What is wrong with him?
I think it's.
I don't know. I did see him get like hit like kind of awkwardly in his knee.
They said that he has a knee sprain,
but he kept playing after that. He kept playing after that. I don't know.
He's questionable, so I'm curious. I hope he plays because, if things go left again, like basically Dallas Goedert was the one receiver that did do something last week. So I think he's needed. Yeah, like obviously I want to see a better offense. Obviously, again, like they're very vanilla. I don't like the play calling. Noah, you mentioned about the all 22s, about the BS that was going on. I need to see more variety. You know what it is? I'm spoiled. Not spoiled. The first Super Bowl, I am. The first Super Bowl year, with Peterson and Wentz. Every game, that offense had new plays that they used once, and they would never use again. And the very next week, they'd have a new set of plays. It was always like that offensive room with Peterson, Reich, and what was the other dude's name? I think he went to One thing went to Minnesota, I think. Anyway, they were
Childress.
Not Childress. He was a young guy.
Shane.
Anyway, they were scouting college teams and picking up plays from them and implementing them, next week for the next week's game. It was amazing to watch because like as an Eagle fan, I never saw that before. So that's what I want to see. I want to see some ingenuity from our coaching staff. Like just try something different. You have basically the most talented offensive roster in the league. Like they shouldn't be looking like this. And to Tyrone's point, yeah, like I guess we're talking about rich people's problems, but F it, like I got a problem. We're rich, I got a problem. Like I want to see something a little bit more aggressiveness from the offense.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I remember that team. Like every week, you saw something you didn't see the week before, and I thought that was pretty cool. But the thing is, the way I'm confident is why I was so not confident with the Dallas. It was a new coaching staff. They had no tape on them at all. Andy Reid has 25 years of tape, and again, he's got a great record. It doesn't matter what his tape is, but I really like the Eagles' talent, their coaching staff, to beat this team. And they're shorthanded. I would be really disappointed if they lost this game because I'm pretty confident they're going to win.
Yeah, we'll see. I expect them to win too, but I don't know if it's going to be like a blowout or anything. Like again,
I mean,
this team is still getting his own bearings as far as like what kind of team they're going to be this year. Forget last year. What kind of team are they going to be this year? So,
but when the schedule first came out, and you looked at the schedule, you said, "Oh, they got to go to KC." You might have, a lot of people would have marked it down as an L.
Yeah, I did.
But I would be disappointed if they lose this game. I think they're a better team. KC's aging in a lot of skill positions. Their defense, they're still decent, and they have a really good defensive coordinator. But the Eagles' offense
Eagles are better. Eagles are
they're
better.
They're better.
They're a better team.
They won there before. It shouldn't like the moment shouldn't be too big for them. They won there before.
Right. That's right.
So
yeah. So
what I've been wishing for is like what I hated about the Colts winning that game was that Shane Steichen's still going to be their head coach. Like I'm hoping that he gets fired and he comes back to the Eagles and he saves our offense from
so
what it's been the past couple of years. Like I didn't really like Kellen Moore's offense last year.
No, I didn't like it at all.
I felt like he really underutilized like Jalen Hurts' arm last year. Like I feel like Shane Steichen, like Jalen Hurts used to have like 300-yard, 4-touchdown like passing games.
They ran a lot though with Shane Steichen.
Yeah, but
they ran a lot.
They ran a lot. That's fine. Now we have Saquon Barkley. Let's run it a lot too. We can't have both. Like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson just had 5,000 passing yards and 40 touchdowns last year. And
Jalen, listen, last year Jalen, he still had, I think, the most passing completions over like 30 yards in the NFL. Is that right?
Maybe touchdowns.
Like he was up there as far as like deep passes. He was up there. He to your point. You're
but
right.
Like,
I mean, he doesn't do it a lot.
He also
they don't do it a lot.
He also was like maybe like in the 20s in like passing attempts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they don't pass a lot. But when you got Barkley doing what Barkley was doing last year, like you have to keep feeding.
Yeah, they play from ahead a lot last year too.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that because last season Jalen Hurts, after that Green Bay game, he had a bad streak of turnovers. Like he was really reckless dating back to the season before and up to that point as far as taking care of the ball. So do you think that had anything to do with the pivot of going along with Saquon Barkley and him showing that he's clearly still the best running back in the league? But do you think that had anything to do with the Eagles pivoting to a more run heavy approach? taking the ball out of Jalen Hurts' arm a little bit more.
Do you guys remember when Jalen first started with the Eagles? Like when he first started, got his first couple of starts.
Yeah.
And Sirianni had him dropping back like 35, 40 times passing the ball. And like it was just even then I was like, that's too much. Like you can't have this guy drop back 35 times for passes, right? Like I think they needed to concentrate on the run game. The fact that they got Barkley in last year, I thought they needed to concentrate more on the run game. This year, I expect Jalen and the offense to pass more.
But I feel like you can do both.
Obviously, the first game against Dallas, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I told you guys before the season started, I was concerned with the offense. I was looking towards the offensive coordinator and seeing what type of offense he's going to run. It's still a concern for me. It's going to be a concern for me probably all year. And like they may have a decent week, but it's always going to be in the back of my mind that they're going to get conservative at the wrong time.
How many drives did the Eagles have last week? Like
not much.
Not many. So
like 5.
I understand what you're saying, Troy, and I totally agree with you. But it was a weird game. It was such a weird game with the
very weird game.
The delay too. Like that's another thing. The delay
with Jalen Carley getting kicked out of the game and the delay. It was just a weird game.
Yeah.
This is the game. To Noah's point earlier, this is the game we should see a more balanced offense. Hopefully, throwing the ball a little bit more. All you fantasy players out there, put AJ in your lineup. They're going to go to him early. I'll give Sirianni credit with this though. I haven't heard anything from AJ or Smitty about not getting the ball.
Yeah,
they understand their roles. They're both already paid. They're not paying for contracts. That's discipline. That's a really good coach team to me, where they're not complaining about not getting the ball after a win. So I have to give them a little bit of credit for that.
That's a good take. Because we know they want it. Like all wide receivers are divas to an extent, and they want the ball.
Correct.
So I love that we haven't heard anything from them. But yeah, it sounds like pressure from Holmes a little bit. See a little more variety with the offense. Adoree Jackson, stay on your man, and maybe the Eagles will come out with a victory and start 2-0. But I think that's enough Philadelphia Eagles talk for the moment. Want to shoot into the fourth quarter, dive into anything other or any other teams that we want to get into Philadelphia sports wise with the Sixers season coming up, the Phillies in full swing, playing some hot baseball. I know you guys have been more tapped in than I have with the Phillies. But the Sixers season starting up. So any noteworthy topics that you guys want to start with outside of the Philadelphia?
I have to go first now.
I just want to say, every time the Sixers post that video of Joel Embiid playing basketball, they always just
talk about that.
They always just get me back, just like that. Like,
they do. I'm back. I'm back, baby.
I say I'm done.
Sixers at 4.
I say I'm done, like hoping for them, but I see that one video. Like, he didn't have the knee brace on.
It was fantastic.
And now I think we're winning the finals.
That was like breaking news on ESPN.
What?
Joel Embiid practiced without a knee brace.
Yes. That's awesome.
Listen, I'm happy that he's not wearing a brace. Obviously, he feels much comfortable. Based on the pictures, he looked great.
Yeah.
Like body wise, he looked great. But he's fragile. So that situation is fragile.
There's no reason a healthy Sixers team cannot make it to the Eastern Conference Finals next year.
They better do it this year. They better win this year, because for the next 10 to 15 years, it's going to be one man's league. And that's Wemby's.
Yeah.
I think Luka's going to get on that.
Wemby is on. I don't think so. Wemby has been on a mission this whole summer, an emotional mission with the Buddhist monks, a mental mission with Kevin Garnett. and now a physical mission with Akeem Olajuwon.
Oof.
And that's what I'm talking about with what I was talking about with Embiid. Like, as a young player, I would have loved to seen the Sixers put him in front of a Kevin Garnett and an Akeem Olajuwon. Even if you can't get him on your team as coaches, just put him in the same gym with this guy for a month. For each of those guys for a month.
I'm surprised him and Hakeem haven't worked together. Like they're both.
Maybe they have, but
they're
like
both
we haven't
from
seen
Africa.
any kind of
Like I feel like that's a connection that would have been there
automatically, right? That would have been the first call. As soon as we drafted Embiid, my first call would have been Akeem. I need you. But no, we're the freaking Sixers. We don't do that.
But I don't know. Like Ben Simmons had LeBron, and look at how that turned out.
So just to pivot real quick, I want to just talk about my Phillies. Kobe might want to close your.
Hey, I don't hate the Phillies. I don't hate the Phillies.
So we lost Turner. We lost Turner last week. Bohm as well. They're both on the IL.
Did you lose Castellanos?
He had a big hit the other night. So
I love
doing his thing.
You left. He's not the worst right fielder. He's the second worst right fielder.
But like we need like his vibe on the team.
Yeah, and I think Rob Thompson feels the same way. He feels the same way. That's what pisses me off.
Well, he was benched.
He had some big moments.
He was benched today. So, and the Phillies are up 8-1. Tyrone, I know you're listening. Phillies up 8-1 against the Mets. But
Tyrone's a Mets fan.
Tyrone's Mets fan.
Tyrone's a Mets fan, Steelers fan.
Yeah, it's weird. I mentioned on one of our podcasts, I think it's important that the Phillies get they're close to the 1 seed, but at least the second seed. They need that first round bye.
They have the bye right
now. If they get to the first, if they get that bye, they only need to throw 3 pitchers in the next round. So it's super important. They have 4 games up on the Dodgers for that second seed, and they're only 4 games away from the first seed against the Brewers. That's not as important to me right now.
Do we have another series with the Brewers against the Brewers or no? We're done.
No, we already played them twice.
So yeah, I think we're done. They got a big series with someone coming up, but it's just important. And I don't think Turner's coming back until the playoffs. So even more so, they just need to get that bye. And they're dominating the Mets right now. They're up 8-1. But I got to be honest, I do not want to see the Mets in the playoffs. They're streaky. They got a killer lineup. That pitching stinks. But if just someone gets hot, that McClain guy, that rookie that they have, if he gets hot in the playoffs, Phillies may have a hard time with the Mets. I don't want to see any of them.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Mets just because I have to deal with their fans. But go ahead.
And their fans, yeah, and dealing with their fans. But yeah, I just want to shout out the Phillies. What's that?
We play the Dodgers soon.
Oh, that's who it was. It was the Dodgers. I know they were coming up, but that's big. That's a big series. You got to keep that 2 seed, and the Padres are right on the Dodgers' heels, so you got that going for them. But shout out to the Phillies. They're killing it right now.
When's the last time the Phillies were in the World Series?
2023.
It's 2 years ago.
2022.
Thank you. Turn those crickets off.
Better question. How many championships you guys have?
How many championships?
We were in the World Series last year.
How many championships did you see?
I saw one.
Okay, you saw one.
How many you guys have?
So that goes back. What? How many? What?
Oh, okay.
What was the question?
Not 27. Okay.
How many did I see?
No, how many do you have?
Don't worry about it, son.
Wow.
That's what I want to shout out a couple of Phillies players.
I'm editing that out, Kobe.
Please don't.
I want to shout out Max Kepler. He's been playing well recently.
He's been great.
Yeah.
And he's been trash.
Him and Bader. Bader
too. Bader's been playing really well.
Yeah.
And Brandon Marsh, his OPS has been like in the like 850s or something since like
he's got 3 hits tonight.
I want Brandon Marsh to save that. He needs to save it of all people. Him save it for the playoffs.
I think you guys are going to be very pleased with Harrison Bader in the playoffs.
Troy made a good point. Troy made a good point. Hot take: are the Phillies getting too hot too early? Because they're on a roll right now.
I don't know, but they've done this.
For the playoffs.
They do this like multiple times throughout the season. They'll win.
They're hot. They're super hot right now.
They'll win like 7 in a row, then they'll lose like 5.
Correct. So like I don't want them to win 7 in a row, the last 7 games of the season, and then lose their next 5, or lose their next.
They need 4 to lose out of 6.
That's baseball. But I agree with you. This is baseball.
It is baseball. Anything can happen. A lot of baseball left to be played in the regular season. I personally am very excited to watch the Sixers with the young talent that they have. Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe. I know there are a lot of questions about Paul George and Embiid, but I can't wait to see what those guys do. Maxey is one of my favorite players to watch all across the NBA. So excited to see him and what that backcourt looks like, whether that's McCain and Edgecombe in there together. But with that, if we don't have anything else, wrap it up, fellas.
I just want to shout out. I want to shout out Philly Karen at the at the woman who stole the ball from that little kid. I want to shout her out. I love the energy.
Listen, the kid made out. The kid made out. The Phillies did the right thing. The Marlins did the right thing. He got a lot of swag, you know. So
yeah,
he made out.
Yeah,
but
shout out Philly Karen. I'm gonna try to get her on the pod.
Shout out Aaron Nola too.
I need him to do well in the playoffs. That's all. Like the regular season means, I'm not gonna say it means nothing, but like my antenna goes up during the playoffs as everyone should. But like I'm going to become very critical of this team during the playoffs. Right now, I don't care what they're doing. They're a good team. They're going to make the playoffs. They should go far in the playoffs, but I'm going to be extremely critical of these jokers once the playoffs start.
I trust Ranger and Sanchez.
And Sanchez? Yeah, I'm watching every game with my arms crossed.
I feel like just like Tyrone was saying about the Eagles, like first world problems. Like who else really?
No,
has,
we're not. That's those guys. That's not first world. All right, so. Ever since they've gone to the World Series,
our pitching staff, like we lost Wheeler and we still like have like a great pitching staff. Like,
I love the pitching staff,
but I just think
it's not my favorite pitching staff ever. I love them, but the lineup is the one that is the thing that's going to destroy me once again. I mean,
Bryce and Kyle Schwarber are pretty high up there in like the playoff like home run.
I just need them. I don't need them to hit home runs. I need them to hit base hits. I need them to play like the 98.
I understand that.
I need them to play like that team.
The 98 who?
Yankees.
The 98 wait, what team? The 98 who?
I need them to play like the
98
I'm
New York
definitely
World Champion Yankees. Oh yeah,
you can edit it out because we could talk about it. That's one of my favorite teams to watch. I had to watch them because, you know, I live in a Yankees house, so I had to watch them.
What are we doing?
Yeah, those guys. World champions. We'll see if the Phillies can be world champions at the end of the season.
Trey Turner like Derek Jeter.
Oh, okay. That's where we'll end the podcast for today.
Yeah, we'll end it right there.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Make sure that you guys subscribe, tune in, rate 5 stars. Even if you don't like it, we don't care. Make sure that you guys show some love. And we'll come back with our recap from week 3 in the NFL to bring it your way. Peace out.